and there's pictures of it. They had someone come in and take pictures of the way he left his desk. Because, I mean, he drew up to the end. And it's all, there's pictures up there and it says, this site preserved by something. So I guess it's all official. And so Justin says, I point, because I've seen the pictures, that's the corner. And I go like this, and Justin goes, yeah, go stand there. And I go over and I stand there, and behind the pictures on the wall of this dark wood paneling is this really deep white line. And that's the groove that his chair wore in the paneling, because he leaned against it and he accidentally rubbed it. And my dad and I are standing there, and I look at Justin, and I go like this, and he goes, yeah, yeah. And I touch it, and I'm rubbing my finger in this groove, and I go, pop, pop, pop. And he comes over, and he goes like this, and he starts to cry, and he goes, never in a million years, I think I'd stand here where we drew all of them. And I went, Papa, now will you please never fucking call me and say, I want you to be Charles Schultz. This is as close as I am ever going to get. This is it. And he goes, okay. And I look at Angie, and Angie goes, and I'm like, and he's crying, and I'm crying, and I'm like, I don't think he really believes it, Angie. I really think he's never going to say it. I don't think he understands now. And Angie's like, he does understand now, and he believes that he'll never say it. But about a month from now, and this was just a fun anecdote. He's going to see the word poop in your script. He's going to give you a call, and that fucker did it. He's already done it. He goes, son, I hate to say it, but why can't you? And I go, no! And he goes, I'm sorry, but... And then he gets his well up and goes, no, fuck you, Dad! No, you said it! And he's like, but why can't you? Why can't you try? And I was like, I brought you that goddamn museum. I brought you the fucking guest house. We touched the wall. We touched Mecca. Cartoon Mecca. I brought a plush with me. Justin is watching me because I had the plush touch all these important things. Like, the real table is behind a thing, and I went. Touched them all, and I rubbed them. Dropped them on the floor, and then I took. They made me an honorary member of the museum. They gave me a little pin, and I went on his ear, so now I know this is the one that's been to Mecca. The fucker still said it. So, but so here's the story the rest of the story. Jeannie Schultz is hot for my dad. Last night we're there. We have dinner at the museum, at the guest house. Brad, don't. Brad's going like this. Haven't I told you the story? So Jeannie had a bunch of people out to the guest house where me, Robert, Angie, and my dad were staying. So all these people come out, we have pizza, and we're playing basketball, and Robert schooled this poor guy at ping pong. Some girl, one of the guys from the studio comes with his girlfriend, and they're all playing basketball, and when she saw Robert was better at basketball than Lex, this girl Amy was just like, oh, so what's your name? He's like, well, I'm Robert Coon, I'm playing basketball for him. So there's a ping pong table in the goddamn garage, and Lex goes, me and my dad are out there, and Lex goes, well, ping pong's more my game. And my dad goes, walks in, and I go, God damn it, no, Lex, don't. And Robert goes, let's play ping pong. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, Lex, no, Lex, no. And Lex like, well, basketball's not my game. And I see Robert, and he's like, I'm like, come on, Robert, don't be this competitive. And Robert goes, well, anyway, I mean, play ping pong, it just goes, boom, and Amy goes, And Lex is like, I'll put it back. So I'm in the room with Jeannie's talking to me about stuff, and Lex comes in, he's like, is it okay if we open these? And it's like a fresh package of ping pong she bought like in 1986. It's been sitting there at the table, it's never been opened. And she's like, oh yeah, play. And Lex goes, okay, like a little kid. And I'm like, fuck. And Dad goes, I can't watch. So we get out there, and I follow Robert out there. The ping pong table set up, and I was going to watch until Lex said, just so you know, I'm pretty good. And I don't know if I can do this because I'm fat, but Robert goes, all right, let's play. And he takes the ping pong, and he goes, he does that squat, and he goes, boom, like a fucking magician. And his hands go into the table, and Lex is like, what? And Robert goes, what hands them all in? And Lex goes, I don't know. And he goes, well, you do this to determine who goes first because... And Lex is like, oh, what rules are those? And he's like, well, they literally have to change the rules because the Aces were beating Swedish or something. He fucking bullshit. And I was just like, I cannot watch it. I cannot watch it. Robert fucking decimated that guy. Fucking broke him. I know Amy broke up with that guy that night. Story now. But I'm like, I cannot believe you did that. Why didn't you let the guy keep his dignity? And he's like, you want to play ping pong? That's what you're going to do. I want to play ping pong. And I'm like, well, you could have had that girl if you wanted to. And he's like, what was her name? I'm like, you remember her name? I wasn't interested in her. And I'm like, no, you were interested in winning. Robbie goes, very much not like, yes, you're right, that is the way I am. Maybe I should. No, it was like a very much, that's why you fail, Scott. Because you care about Lex. His erection that he'll never get again. Will I run ping pong? But yeah, at one point Dad walked out there to see it and just comes right back and he's like, nope. But so, that's the Schultz music store. Oh no, Jeannie Schultz wants to bang my dad. So after all that, everyone's gone home and we're all just hanging out and we're talking to Jeannie and blah, blah, we're having a great time. And she goes, okay, well, and she starts cleaning. We're like, Jeannie, we'll clean. And she's like, no, we'll clean. And she's like, no, this dishwasher's weird. And so she goes, okay, well, you know, she's doing like ladies do. Mentally, that's okay, yes. She goes, okay, well, she puts on her coat, she goes, now, can one of you men come with me? My car is down in the dark a little bit, and there's something, the fuse is broken, there's a light that won't come off. Maybe one of you guys know how to fix it. Could one of you guys maybe help me with this, Frank? And Robert, who was eternally like this, goes, see? And my dad goes, yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll do it. So they walk off into the darkness, and Robert goes, and 45 minutes later, they come back, or my dad comes back, and he walks in, and Robert goes, and my dad goes, well, all right, nothing to do. And then Robert, I'm like, what, Dad? What happened out there in the dark? And he's like, she thought she had a busted fuse, but what it is on those Mercedes, the vanity mirror in the front that you drop down, you can see yourself to put on your makeup. They have those in the back too, and those things are designed so when they close, it hits a switch, and then it knows that that light is off because the switch has been depressed because my dad's an engineer, and Robert's just like, yeah, this is not what we want to know about. And what was happening was that switch was broken, so even though it was shut, it didn't know the light should be shut off, so I just went in there and with my pocket knife and popped the little thing out that was preventing it from closing, and voila, she can even return that fuse because she hasn't opened it yet. And Robert goes, then what did you do? And he goes, well, we talked about Scotty, and we talked about, you know, being married, and being widows and widowers and blah, blah. And then I go, did she kiss her? And he goes, well, she said, you know, your son you should be a very proud father. And we hugged, and then I gave her a kiss on the cheek, but that's European. And I was like, wow. And Robert goes, woo. And Angie's like, I'm staying out of it. And so my dad goes, okay, well, I think what we should do now is we should take all